Hey guys, Chaz Pippett from Baseball Rebellion, and for this Baseball Rebellion swing breakdown, I'm going to look at Jose Altuve and a game he had against the Mariners a few weeks ago where he had 4 hits, a home run, a double, and 2 singles. And what's interesting about those 4 hits was they were very, very different, but all of them had some major similarities that were really, really good. Most importantly, I think, is his intent. He tries to swing the bat as hard as he can every single time, which a guy of his size needs to do in order to survive at the highest level. And what's really interesting is, he's got an OPS of over 1,000 to go along with his 340 batting average this year, and already having 9 home runs through 153 at bats. So he's shown that even though he's a small guy, who can steal bases and runs beautifully and plays good defense. He's already got 15 bags stolen this year. He can be a guy who actually does damage as well. So we're going to take a look at Altuve now, and this is the home run. So there are some things about this swing that are not my favorite. Everyone knows, like, I like the heel-to-heel direction. You can clearly see that he's out of alignment here and his foot's extremely closed. But you can get away with that if you pivot through the heel like he does. So he pivots beautifully through his heel of his front foot, and he has a perfect vision and perfect upper body. Like, when I say perfect, I mean perfect. I mean, you can clearly see the shoulder angle and barrel are exactly in line. Vision's exactly where you want to be. Nose is pointed at the ball. It's even a little bit deeper before that. He delivers the blow. His shoulders rotate, his hip rotates, he gets his belt buckle all the way past the pitcher, and his shoulder past the pitcher as well. And this ball is just absolutely crushed, and that's what we're looking for from powerful hitters. I mean, it went over the train tracks up here. So, that's exactly what they want Jose Altuve to do. Now that he's shown that he can do damage, they want him to do just that. I mean, this was a mistake pitch. It was supposed to be in. They didn't quite get it in where they wanted it to, and so he put it somewhere where they didn't want him to put it, which is over those train tracks. And what's really interesting about some of the views they're about to give us is you can really see his hitter's box. And what's funny is I did a breakdown of Arenado the other day, and I had a former minor league coach tell me that Arenado was beat. His upper body looked almost identical to this, so you can see how close his forearm is to his chest. And you can see Altuve kind of shrug right at the last second right there to try to get just a little bit extra. And he's pulling his hands in. He's keeping them in because once the ball's gone, extension doesn't mean anything. So we noticed that he doesn't have extension, but because he hits the ball with his body and times the ball with his turn and not his hands, Altuve is able to deliver a massive, powerful shot here. And you can notice that the relationship between his hands and his back shoulder stay almost identical throughout the entire turn. A lot of people call this staying connected. I just call it a great swing. I mean, his hands are hinging beautifully. The contact is exactly where he wanted it to be on the barrel, and the ball obviously flies up and out. And you can see how far he turns, and there's no extension at any point here because when you have perfect timing on a pitch, you may or may not need to extend. So you can see a complete turn there, and even though his back foot doesn't move and his front foot stays closed, you can still see the beautiful upper body, and his turn is still good enough, while there are other guys who turn further and get their fly all the way to the shortstop. With how flexible he is through his spine, you can see that he gets his back shoulder all the way to center field. So actually maybe working on that turn going further may not even be optimal for him because of how far he goes. Now, I would have some concerns with some SI joint stuff and some lower back stuff, and maybe some front hip stuff, because look at how close he lands on this one. All right. But again, he's able to get his body through like he wants. Now, that's a pitch that he rolled over and kind of pulled through the 6-hole, but you can still see how far his shoulders went and how beautifully he pivoted on his front heel. Now, watch his front foot kind of skip. All right. Now, that'll happen because he's trying to turn and his body is making a choice. Like, he can really do some damage to his hip and possibly his knee, his ankle, or he can just unweight his front foot and let it slide. So the body decided to slide in order to protect itself. But what's interesting about that is because he's through his heel, he's able to do that. If he was through his front foot a lot, he probably would have slid with his heel. His heel would have gone in towards the catcher's foot, and that could have been really, really problematic. But again, we're going to see that perfect shoulder angle, great vision. So even when he is a little bit early, he's able to overcome that, drive a ball through the 6-hole with enough velocity off the bat to get it through, past a major league shortstop. So on the third one, this is my favorite swing of them all. He clearly adjusts through his front side on this pitch. Watch him sitting in that front leg. Really watch his front foot. So he lands. He kind of pauses. So there's his fastball timing right there. So if that's a fastball, he's turning, but it's not. So he kind of reshifts a little bit, and then he drives his front knee back. So his front knee really became the engine there, which was really interesting because I wrote an article a long, long time ago about adjusting to curveballs, and we're seeing more and more guys take that type of a front leg adjustability approach. So he's hanging on. So his foot lands, and now he's either got to go because it's a fastball, or he's got to resist up top. He's got to row back. He's got to hang on, and then he drops his heel and he goes. So he still has the explosion again to get this through the up the middle, through the pitcher's area, and through past the shortstop, and that just allows him to just be adjustable. And the ability to do that through his front leg is such a unique skill to the best hitters in the world, and it allows them to cut down on strikeouts and stay in more at-bats and make hard contact in fair territory more often. You get 3 strikes, guys, but you only get 1 fair ball. So you got to make sure that the fair ball is the most valuable thing that you ever give away. And now you can see this mistake by the pitcher here. This is all the same game. It's a heck of a game. They're looking for the outside corner. The ball shifts over. Altuve's a little closed again, but that's kind of his style. And you can see the back foot actually come and slip back behind because he's so close, because he can't keep turning. That's probably why he crushes this ball to center field. But you can see the shoulder gets all the way through. The front foot is still rolled out like that, but it's rolled out through the heel. And you can just see how far he hits this ball. I mean, again, this is a 5'7" guy just making tremendous, powerful movements. And that's what we're looking for, with that type of move. Now, this guy gets thrown out at home by forever. But the movements he's exhibiting in these swings are just so powerful, especially with his upper body. I mean, they're just so body-driven. His turn leads. His belt loops lead first, so he puts his foot down, belt loops start to go, shoulders are straight. Bang! Back shoulder drives all the way to center field, and he's creating that lean back that we saw in the first video as well. So whether it's a home run, pull side, whether he's fooled and out in front and rolling over a pitch through the 6-hole, whether he's fooled again and adjusts better through his front leg and drives it at the middle for another single, or whether the pitcher makes a mistake and he hits it 435 feet to dead center up the hill at Houston's Park. Altuve can do it all, and I'm really excited about the way he uses his upper body, because I think a lot of people can really learn from his shoulder angle, his vision, his tightness through his hitter's box, and how he's not trying to get to extension all the time. I mean, he's trying to have great timing, and if he needs to extend, he can, because he's not hitting the ball at extension over and over and over again. He's hitting the ball with depth, and he's timing the turn of his body to the baseball, and that's what makes him an excellent player and a threat to win the batting title every year, and a legitimate MVP candidate if the Astros can put it together. So once again, I appreciate you guys listening to this Baseball Rebellion Swing Breakdown. My name is Chaz Pippett. Thank you very much.